With Deadpool and Wolverine finally on the horizon, I think it's time we look back at the film that started it all. Let's get into it. Hello there Clapperheads, and welcome to a brand new edition of ClapperCorn Reviews. My name is Nick Dorian. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Fox classic, Deadpool. After a disastrous debut in Wolverine Origins and a quote-unquote leaked test footage back in 2015, 2016 saw the debut of Ryan Reynolds' dream of putting our Merc with a mouth on a screen. In the mid-2010s, the superhero genre was truly starting to pick up, with Marvel doing their thing in the Avengers universe, as well as DC doing their thing with trying to find out who Martha was.
Why did you say that name?
Comic book adaptations were coming left, right, and center, but there was one notable figure that was predominantly missing from all this. But we should have known our favorite superhero wouldn't keep quiet for long. Deadpool was a film that we never saw before in this genre, or even after, to be honest. It was action-packed, it was violent, and it was filled with so much fourth wall breaking and references that it'll make your whole head explode. And not only that, this was the first superhero film with a whole bunch of fun vulgarity thrown in the mix that it earned itself the title of the highest grossing R-rated film of all time. Clearly a huge passion project for Reynolds. You could definitely tell how much thought went into this film and how much fun they were having with it. After the wreckage that was X-Men Origins back in 2009, fans as well as Reynolds has been campaigning to get this Merc with a mouth on the screen, but it fell on deaf ears. And when that leaked test footage came out, fans went ballistic, and I think that was the final push to get Deadpool to have his own film. So after all that, when it was announced there was finally going to be a feature-length film with our favorite anti-hero, there was of course a little bit of hesitation because how were they going to pull this off? At that time, the market was filled with films that would have been classified as family-friendly superhero films. So when this came into the play, how was it going to work? How was it going to be as it was in the comics? But we shouldn't have worried because Reynolds, along with his director Tim Miller, made sure that this was as comic accurate as possible, vulgarity and all. It was a film that you couldn't help but have so much fun with, just watching all this intense action sequences with the massive soundtrack they put in as well that would hype you up. This was perfect Deadpool. This was a character that was so beloved in comic book history, and Ryan Reynolds had perfectly done justice to his counterpart. You couldn't have made a better Deadpool film. I am that honest with you. You can't. This was just perfect. And to this day, it still holds up, still gets you excited, and still gets you smiling from ear to ear with all his antics. At the end of the day, Deadpool is a must-watch, even if you're not a comic book fan. It paved the way for directors to push the limits of creating R-rated films in the superhero genre. Films like Logan, The Suicide Squad, Joker, these were films that were allowed to expand beyond what the limits that Marvel and DC had laid down in their MCU and DCEU. Sure, it had more adult themes, but it was more in line with the comics and gave us a deeper, richer storyline. Could these films have gotten made even without Deadpool? Maybe, but you can't help but say that Deadpool sort of paved the way in that sense. So do yourself a favor, if you haven't already, go check Deadpool out on Disney Plus Hotstar right now, and especially if you're planning to go and watch Deadpool and Wolverine, this is a great place to start. And as always, you can check out all our social media. It's all on the screen at the moment: Instagram, TikTok, and of course YouTube. Go and subscribe and follow those channels for more updates. Thank you so much again for watching. I am Nick Dorian, and until next time, keep watching the movies.